The thing with the guys that say they're playing sim, trying to convince you that they're playing a simulation of golf or not, because more often than not they're taking, if it's not a par 3, they're taking a driver at everything. Even if they make a mistake, it doesn't matter if they're in a bunker or in the rough. They just use the Shot Modifier to shorten up the club or do whatever with it, and still hit it close and get their birdies, which explains those, well into double-digit under par scores that even this so-called sim guys are doing. This is not about playing sim golf. This is about playing a simulation of golf, which requires some time and patience, thought, and planning on each individual hole. So here we are. It's a long par 3, 246 yards. And we pretty much know that, especially with this, it looks to me like a drawn in 5 wood will do the job. Sometimes you can hit the unused stick a couple of times and get a look at where that bunker might actually be. But we know the bunker's right in the middle there. It's in the way between us and the hole. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this out to the right a little bit. And what we're going to do is try to take more than a gentle draw on it by closing the club face at the end of the shot. Jumped up onto the green. It's rolling out to, pretty much 3 wood carry distance. We've avoided the bunker. We've avoided trouble. And we have a chance for a birdie. We're 27 feet away, and under most cases you should not expect it to get it in the hole. So from this distance you can't expect to make all of these putts. When you're this distance away, you should be anticipating a 2-putt. So your first one should get you within 3 feet of the hole somewhere, even if it's 6 inches past or a 1.5 feet short, or even a foot or two offline to the left or right. You still should be presented with a pretty easy putt that you should be able to make. So again, we already know we're going to try to hit it just a little bit more than halfway between us and the hole. And just flagged it up there close. Happy par, and you move along. And here we are on another par 5. Watching the flyover. If this was normal conditions here, we'd get a look at where the hazards might be, and we get our first look at whatever slope we can deduce from looking at this overhead, and see what the flag is doing, which we already know it's not doing much, and things are pretty flat. And we have a 562-yard par 5, which is possible to get to in 2 in the right conditions, but again, long enough to take the driver at it. I don't see any bunker trouble. I kind of did that on purpose. Got lucky, cleared the bunker, but now I'm in the deeper rough. And again, now I'm faced with a get out of trouble club. It's giving me an 8-iron, which is easily going to go 125 if I'm lucky. So now we look at our yardages. We're at 250, 350. Okay. we're going to go wind up actually somewhere between that 350 and 400 yard markers there. We got all the power on it, and yep, we're going about 128 rolled out. You're not going to get any checkup or backspin from a rough fly. Depending on how fluffy it is, you might get a flyer, or it might totally, kill any distance you have. Okay, but now we have a good distance. We're at 158. Got to clear a bunker, so most of it is carry. 145 from a clean fairway lie is liable to put us in the bunker. It's a 7 iron, short iron, so we should be able to get some positive effect by a little check-up backswing or backspin on this. It's not going to really backspin, but you might be able to check up its behavior when it lands. .158 club, but it only took a little bit of a bounce, went to 160, so perfect. Even though the putting here is pretty no-brainer here, I'll go over my procedure for making and reading putts, which is sticking the flag in the hole, taking the low view, seeing if the flag appears to be off, straight up and down perpendicular, which of course it's not. From there I'll hit the unused stick once so I can look at it from the other side. I'll look and see if there's any anomaly with the appearance of the hole. If there's right there, see some of it kind of disappears gradually there. Tells me if anything on that, from my view, that left side is a little lower than the right side, so I will take this just slightly to the right of center to account for that. I will get the low view again, and then I will look behind me, and if you're near the edge of the green there, that whatever horizon slope you see might also affect it. So right there it's telling me that the ball might be just slightly above my feet, not in any great amount. I've probably already made enough adjustments, so I'm just gonna keep this to right center of the hole and roll it in. I can see I made a mistake here. When I originally set up this course, I had adjusted it so there'd be 3 par 3s, 3 par 4s, 3 par 5s. After I made that adjustment, I neglected to regenerate it to that specification, which is why I have 1 par 4 and all these par 5s and 3s, but that's okay. Keep that in mind when you're designing your own practice course. I'll fix this one when I'm done. Alright, so we're going to go on to hole 8. We've already talked about, carry distance, rollout distance on the clubs. This is something you should work out for yourselves. With some experience, you'll know, how far, a club carries and how far it's going to roll out, at least in nominal conditions. If you're dealing with wind, it's going to be more. If you're dealing with a hard green or a fairway, it's going to be more. Anyway, what I want to do here is I want to work on a pitch shot, so it's 201. I want to leave myself within 45. So I'm going to take the 170 club at this, just so I can practice that. And I think I've given myself exactly what I want. Okay, I'm 20 out. The first thing I don't like to do, if there's a lot of fairway or whatever in between me and the green, I don't like to risk the chip, because it might catch the fairway. It's not going to roll out, and if I'm lucky, well, let's see what happens, because I can reset the shot. So you can see, 7 yards is just barely going to get to the green. It might work out. I'm not sure, but we're going to take the kind of shot I would normally take, which is not the full backswing. I got 90%. Okay, that worked out. I got a little lucky. The chip got to the green and behaved as it normally does here, but that was not the intent. So we're going to rewind that, put ourselves back, and I want to work on the pitch. Cycle it back around. Okay, this is a 45-yard pitch club from a clean fairway lie. So a full backswing, this thing's gonna fly 45 yards and probably bounce out, bounce up a few. Might check up. Okay, so this is where we work on, and again, why I recommend these stick extenders, so you can more easily match your thumb movement to the movement of the on-screen golfer graphic. So if that's full, instead of looking so much at what the club head or the club head is doing, I'm looking at my arm and shoulder position, which is pretty much straight out. So I want to modulate this shot to about there. And I got 59%, which is just over half. That's exactly what I wanted to do. We'll see if we can repeat it. Set it for the pitch. 2 clicks on the unused thing here, because I like the angle. Again, that's the full 45-yard carry. Looking at my shoulder and forearm, it's pretty much parallel to the ground. So I want to get it to a point where it's about half of that. A few back practice swings there, just to get the feel for what you want to do. I got a little bit more that time. Not a disaster, but that's really not what I wanted to do. Got it right the first time. You don't always get it right the first time. Got 67%. Okay, still a little bit more than that 59, which was close to perfect I got the first time, but okay. Put the stick in. Detect a slight. By the appearance of the stick and the way the hole is uncovering there, as you can see. I think I'm looking at slight break to the right. I'm still going to take it out to, just going to take it out the left edge. hit a little bit too hard, otherwise it probably would have broke in. It would have fell in instead of slipping out. So let's try it again. Again, we're going to take it to left edge, and we're on the right track. We're just going to try to get the speed right. And if you get the speed right there, it'll hold the line. So to make a draw, just by using the stick itself, I have no. I place my thumb perpendicular 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock on the top of the stick, and I have no trouble pretty much drawing it straight back to the 6 o'clock position. If I'm attempting a natural draw, I might try to go a little bit to the right on the backswing, like to the 5:30 position, and then push the swing up to the 11 or 11:30 position. So which I hit kind of straight despite my best efforts. Middle of the fairway, but that was not the point of the demonstration. So what we're going to do is rewind the shot, and we're going to try to do it again, because I can naturally with feel put a little bit of a draw, which you can see in the feedback. And even though I aimed a little bit right, I think, do it one more time. Back off to the 5 wood. The more lofted woods are easier to manipulate. You have more of an area of error. So again, we're going to try to take it back, and we're going to try to push it. We're using our reticle as a frame of reference, so I'm going to take it back, and I'm going to try to hand-eye coordinate it to the left edge of that reticle. And you can see from the feedback I got within the cone, but achieved a bit of a draw. Now we're going to take it back to the tee, and now we're going to go the other way. Because I'm using the left stick with my left hand, what I find it's a little bit more difficult to play a fade, but I'm going to aim a little bit right to the edge of the fairway on the left, and by the same token I'm going to take it back and try to push my thumb hand-eye coordinated to the right edge of the reticle. And you can see I've gotten a little bit of a fade on that. Still a solid hit, and I put myself in the middle of the fairway. Now in most cases, because I'm using my left hand, because I'm using the left stick, because of the orientation of my hand to the controller, sometimes it's a little more difficult to achieve that, and in the rare case I will take the modifier a hair to the right, creating a bit of shot modifier generated fade, and by doing that I will take it even a little bit further to the right with my aim, and I will still try to execute that shot to the right edge of the reticle. You can see I stayed within the cone even though the size of the cone was reduced, and I still managed to put it in the fairway center. Okay, now we're going to stand over this second shot. We're 306 away. We're not getting there. You can see if you change to a driver, a wooden club from the fairway, you can see we're automatically losing almost 10% of distance at best, and 10% more than half distance, with a screw up. So generally we don't try to get too fancy with this. And for the sake of this demonstration, what we're going to try to do is just show you another modulated swing. So we're just I just had to cut out there for a second. It's allergy season. I don't really have any serious trouble except for a little congestion here and there and an occasional cough. So I did get a favor of turning off the microphone for a second. Anyway, so let's see what else can be done with club control and swing control. I will tell you that for the most part, the shorter irons, let's say start with an 8 iron, can be more easily modulated. And when I say modulated, let's say we got a good clean lie here, 98, 99, that's about right. So when I say we're going to modulate a swing, okay, we're not going to mess with the modifier at all. What we're going to attempt to do is to naturally swing 90% of this club's distance. So it's a 145, take 15 off of that. What we're going to try to do is modulate our swing and make this fly 130 or so. I do this by taking it slowly back. And instead of snapping it to the 12 o'clock position, I kind of place it to the 12 o'clock position. I've gotten 88%, which is, you know, close enough to 90% for rock and roll and government work, so it's going 132. We'll rewind that and try a different technique with the 8 iron. The other way you might want to try to do that is to not take it all the way back. Take it so the club is up and down, straight, instead of taking it all the way over the shoulder like that for a full swing. Practice it a few times so you get comfortable with it. And snap it where you got 70%. So it's much more dependable to take the slower full back swing and place it to the 12 o'clock position as opposed to snapping it to the 12 o'clock position. So we'll try it one more time. Slow back. Just to get a feel. And place it. I got the 100. You have to work on that. It takes some practice to do it dependably. I'll take one more shot at it. Slow back. Place it. Okay, got 92. When you're shooting for 90 and you get 88 to 92, you've pretty much executed the shot you wanted. Now we'll move on. Now we're 167 to the hole. The 170 carry distance on the 6 iron, is good for the carry distance, but you got to expect a roll out of another 8 to 10. Just for giggles, we'll see what happens here. So it's a 170, and chances are it'll roll out to the back of the green, maybe in the fringe, maybe even in the bunker. At any rate, we've rolled out to 176. So let's try this again for 167. Let's drop a club. So 158 carry, 258 down. So that's probably, this should roll out to like something like 165. Might even put a stiff because the hole's 2 feet down. It's gotten us to 163. I think we're on the right track. We came up a little short, so 158 went out to 163. So if it rolled out to 158, went to 163. So maybe bounced the yard, rolled out another 2. Yeah, that's about right. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take it a hair of D-loft, as if putting it an inch back in our stance. As if, okay? As if in reality that's what a real golfer might do. Hit it square, just slightly off center, not enough to really hurt it. And we rolled it up there to birdie range. Let's try it again. Back off the club. The greens are on the soft side, so let's see how stiff we can get. So we're going to put a hair of D-loft on it. We're going to take another half a hair, just another nudge more. Hold up to 164 this time. Okay, not bad. Now what the arcade golfers do and the sim golfers do is they would take this 170 club, knowing we want to de-loft it by 10%. Which puts a higher trajectory, which will decrease its carry distance somewhat. But you still get the bounce and roll of the club. That's how the arcade golfers do it, and the guys that rely on the Shot Modifier do it. So that's not what real amateur golf is about, and that's my case. I'll close it out by putting it in a hole. Things look pretty perpendicular from this angle. Take the reverse angle. Maybe a slight lean to the left from this view. And the edge of the hole looks a little higher to that same side. So again, we're going to take this out to the left edge and put it in the hole. So anyway, that's my explanation of things and how they relate to the style of amateur play golf that myself and a few friends and now a couple of designers are trying to accommodate. The idea is to put yourself in the shoes of, Joe Sixpack. Guy's played golf for some years, has some skills, he's not shanking it into the woods on every tee shot. The game itself pretty much precludes that anyway. And but going out and shooting a realistic round of golf, where a par is a great day, even shooting 80 is a really good day. And if you have a good day and you find yourself a couple or a few under par, then you really had a fantastic day on the golf course. So that's what it's all about. That's the idea. That's the theory, and that's the working plan. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'm going to try to put these 3 videos together in one main video and give it all to you in one serving.